Last time on Edgeworth Investigations. You know, I figured Edgeworth would be curious and ask them to take off their helmet. Oh no! Oh shit. Hey guys, Redden here and welcome back to Edgeworth Investigations. So, last episode I read the comments, and a lot of you guys are saying that this case suffers from the third case syndrome, which, if you don't know this already, is the syndrome that basically plagues almost every Ace Attorney game in existence, where the middle or third case is usually the worst. And I disagree on that. Well, I can't disagree from like a writing standpoint. I can argue on an objective standpoint if I really think about things. But anyways, I'm really enjoying this case. I honestly am. I think the first case was one of the worst first cases I've ever played, in my opinion. It was one of the most boring things ever. A lot of people that were watching Apollo, I'm not going to say that this is why my opinion's like that, but a lot of the people that were watching Apollo and went on to watch this, watched that first episode and just ducked out because it was not working. And I have to agree with them that the first case was definitely one of the more boring ones in my opinion. Best being Apollo, and what used to be worst is Ace Attorney 1, but that's because how the game was. It was the first one, so you can't really help that. But this one is probably my new least favorite first case, and my favorite third case. So, hey, things like this can happen, and I can feel weird about things. Alright, now where are we going now? Looks like we got the boot again. With Lance safe, the focus of the investigation will shift solely onto the murder. You mean the infighting between the kidnappers? Yes, also the identity of the remaining kidnapper. Miles, my boy. What? Who said that? Oh, is it the old man? Yeah, it's the old man again. Tell me it's true. Tell me you've really found my boy. Yes, Sir Romano. We found him earlier in the stadium. Then my little Lance is unhurt? He's not exactly the picture of perfect health, but his life is not in danger. He's being questioned right now by Agent Lang. Poor Lance, it must have been so horrible for him. Locked up like a... Oh wait, that's her talking. Oops. I was trying to be Edgeworth when I'm not. Well, I guess let's talk to them. No, I'll talk to the old guy first. Miles, my boy, I can't thank you enough. It was nothing. I'm still in shock over what happened to Oliver. I don't even remember what kind of voice I gave him. But I have to say, I'm relieved that Lance is all right. Oh, that's right. I mustn't forget to pass this on to Lance as soon as the police are finished with him. A letter? What's the letter for? Oh, the way Lance is being chased after by women reminds me of someone I know. Not saying myself, but I almost can't believe you received yet another love letter, you know. Here, take a look for yourself. Isn't this a breach of confidentiality? It's a very simple love letter. Yeah, that doesn't look, sketchy at all. Not at all. Ooh, hey, let me see. That's really weird. It's from a loan company. Tender Lender. Looks more like a collection bill to me. Yeah, that is strange. Probably how he was kidnapped. Okay, well, thanks for nothing, really. He loves me not. He loves me not. Oh, that's the 12th one. No, you can't give up, Lauren. Just one more try. I don't know why I gave her like a weird southern accent. Like female Sid now. Excuse me, but I can't help but feel a bit sorry for all the flowers you've gone through. I suppose if they were me then... I believe you said that you were Lance's girlfriend when we first met, correct? Yes, I am, but... Oh, it's not like we both think of each other as lovers. But he did give me this ring, so I guess we're not just friends either. I mean, because this isn't just any ordinary ring. It tastes so sweet when you lick it. Ah, it's wonder how is that ring not dissipated by now? You mean to tell me that he gave you a lollipop ring? So which is it? Have you guys not decided if you're going out, or is it just one-sided? Decided? Shouldn't the parties involved naturally just know? My father used to work for Mr. Romano. And so Lance and I grew up together. I said it out loud. Oh no. I don't see how that's anything to be embarrassed about. So your father was an employee of the Amano Group. What did he do? I heard his job was to fly around the world. On a Pegasus. A Pegasus? Oh, Pegasus was the name of the airplane. The airplane belonged to the company. You had me there for a second. But now, it's all changed. My father, he isn't around anymore. Oh, I see. Oh, she looks like she's about to cry. I feel more bad for Kat than I do for her. About 10 years ago, we rode in Pegasus off somewhere and never returned. Riding Pegasus to whereabouts unknown sounds like the stuff legends are made out of. It's been so long, I don't think I'd recognize him if we were ever to meet again. I'm so sorry, Lauren. But I won't give in to the sadness. I have to live. Yes, Lauren, live. It's like the most generic sob story. I can't wait to see you be the murderer, because it's not totally obvious. About this incident. Incident? But isn't the kidnapping already over and dealt with? I've been here the whole time, so I'm afraid I don't know much about any other incident. How did you come to know that Lance had been kidnapped? Oh, that's because of my women's intuition. You based everything on that. I love playing as Edgeworth sometimes. I don't know, it's just such a different dynamic from Phoenix as Apollo, and Apollo, not as Apollo. While playing as Apollo is slightly different from Phoenix, in a way that Apollo is even more squeamish and searching for justice, I guess? I think that's the only difference between the two, honestly. I know everything when it comes to my Lance. It's really strange. It really must be destiny, blushed. Oh, she started fantasizing again. Well, there's nothing we can do about that, really. So what are you going to do now, Mr. Edgeworth? We already established that there's a good chance that the killer is the other kidnapper. It's my duty to figure out who this other person is. I believe there is one location that might hold a clue or two. I guess the isolation room. We didn't check out that other room, so I guess that would be the answer. The place where we were held as prisoners. Hold it! Don't let me in with you! I can't allow you to slander my good name as a great thief by saying I was captured. Not being able to escape from somewhere qualifies you as a caged bird, Kay. Besides, we checked that place out pretty well while we were there, remember? Don't you think it'd be an even better idea to check somewhere else? Perhaps you're right. What I really need right now is our leads to the killer's identity. I believe there is one location that might hold a clue or two. To the bathroom! I don't know. There's a lot of places. Okay, kidnappers' hideout? Wait, what? The obvious location is the kidnapper's hideout. We're still not allowed in, remember? Agent Lang and his men should be done with this area. In that case, there's no harm in asking that officer over there to let us in. Yeah, and one of you guys were talking about in the comments section that it's really not Edgeworth's job to do this, but he's just kind of here doing it out of a sense of duty and wanting to help people in a way. Plus, he's kind of tied into it by forces that are not within his control. So I guess he does have to be here in a way. While Lang is not wrong, he's still an asshole. What do you have to report? Sir, nothing unusual or out of the ordinary, sir. Where have I heard such redundancy before? Is it possible for you to let us take a look around inside? Sir, Roger, sir. Wait, what? That was surprisingly hassle-free. Are you certain? Didn't Agent Lang order you not to follow me in? Or not to allow me in? Sir, that's true, sir, but Detective Gumshoe asked me personally to let you in, sir. And I couldn't refuse a request from him. Wow, looks like Detective Gumshoe has a following. Furthermore, I was asked to give this document to you, sir. What is this? Oh, what? Colin Deveray, sex male, height 5'8", weight 123.45 pounds. Jeez. Sorry, it's hard to talk with this new headphone on. Anyway, dominant hand, right. Whereabouts unknown after his escape from Penn E. Dent Prison, stole a gun from a guard during his escape. We thought he might head for where his... I can't read the rest. It's all under the writing of the game. The man in this picture, isn't this Mr. Oliver Deacon? But the name here says Colin Deveray. That's the same name as the one on the back of the pendant. It appears that Colin Deveray was his real name. What's this? He was convicted in a case 10 years ago and sent to prison? What? Then what was he doing out here? Apparently, he broke out of jail and then just vanished. He must have become Oliver Deacon to cover up the fact that he was an escaped felon. Okay, then. Now I'm not sure what's going on anymore. Is there some sort of link between the victim's past and this current case? I don't know, Edgeworth. Is it solve the case for me? I'm too lazy to do it. Zeno, no, you have to use your logic points once in a while. Actually, now that I think about it, Ace Attorney would be a pretty, like, interesting game if it had some sort of instant solve points, kind of like L.A. Noire did. Huh. Just thinking about that's interesting. I should take time to give them a thorough read eventually. It's fine, let's focus on one thing at a time, starting with the kidnapper's hideout. Yeah, I agree. We should investigate first, think later. More than thinking things through, I think you should try remembering things first. Now then, if you would please unlock the door, officer. It was locked up until a little while ago, but since then the door's been wide open, sir. I'm not sure I follow it, is what you're saying. Care to explain in a bit more detail? Sir, the door was locked down tight when they went to check out the room. So they got about 10 officers to help out and break down the door, sir. I see. I guess that means I get Agent Lang's leftovers. Well, let's see what we find. I don't know. Did we ever see this? Oh, is this the adjacent room to where we were locked up? It looks like it, but I can't be... Yeah, it's the adjacent room, because there's the blue bin, and there's the hatch on the floor. The door that we were looking through must have been on the left of this one. So this is where the kidnappers planned their foul deed. Well, you were tied up for a while in the next... Well, you were tied up for a while in the next room next door. Hee hee. Okay, please, must you bring that up again? Now then, down to business. There still might be some clues left in this room. Let's try to find out what we can of the other kidnapper's identity. Begin investigation. Can you stop with that weird finger thing? It's creepy. No. Finger calisthenics. Okay. I like the investigation theme. It's really nice and calming. Beyond this door is where the kidnappers held you after getting a jump on you. Must you keep reminding me? But it's the room where I got to see your so awesome face. You didn't need to remind me of that mortifying moment either. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. Watch out, Mr. Edgeworth! It's a broken mirror. It probably came from the haunted house. Why is this here? Are they planning to repair it? Honestly, sometimes I just look at evidence on the crime scene and I can't figure out what's happening. Like, I don't know how this mirror is going to tie in. Unused folding chairs laying against the wall in their folded state. Wow, whoever lined these up did it perfectly. They're not even a single hair off. I feel bad using these because it'd be like stealing the perfection away. I feel that same way. I know it's a weird thing to say, but when there's like a long line of stacked shopping carts, I always feel bad taking one out because someone did it, someone's working hard, and I just ruined that work. Or in a way, I guess I'm putting their work to purpose? I don't know. Weird thing. By the way, I want to ask you guys a fun question. How many of you guys, or why do you guys watch this series? I'm just very curious. I don't know. I always found my commentary on these visual novel type games to be a little lackluster, but I always want to know what you guys think, so it'd be interesting to know. Anyways, I suspect it's more like you wouldn't want to be the one to put them away. Yeah. Photo? What does that say? Blue Badger Photo Rally. Okay. A sign advertising the photo rally, something I've absolutely no interest in. Yeah, but I do, and I'm going to get my hands on the rest of the Badger family, you'll see. I have to kill people! I don't know why she got the Neffany voice for a second. What happened to your voice, Kay? I don't know, it just... Some things just happened I can't understand. She definitely brings a decidedly different atmosphere to a criminal investigation. Well, more different than Trucy just mocking you the whole time. Ooh, hey, they have barrels like these just outside. Yes, and? Well, I know I already asked you when we were out there, but... If these were real, what would you put in them? There's an expectant gleam in her eyes that I'm about to dash. This must be where they dispose of old worn-out costumes. That's so sad. It would seem that they throw the costumes away in pieces. Okay. Hey, there's a trapdoor in this room, too. It's not a trapdoor, it's an entrance to an underground passage, Kay. I know that. The door leading to the outside world was locked. So Lanza must have escaped his prison through here. Can we not go through, or... That it? Won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Once again. Okay, so there's a key here. I wonder what this key is to. You got me. I don't know, Edgeworth. Could it be to the door to get to the room where you were locked up? Reminds me of the key we found in the other room. That's it. That must be the key for one of those trapdoors. That wasn't a trapdoor. You only call it that because you literally jumped into it. Hey, but isn't that what you're supposed to do when you see one? I'm not having this conversation with you. Okay, so I guess it's not to the door then. It's to one of the other trapdoors, as she's calling them. Or emergency exits. Coffee maker. We can't exactly do anything with that, though. Folding chairs, and by the look of it, they were probably used by the kidnappers. There are 3 folding chairs set around the table. So... Hostage... Or was it hostage and then 2 people interrogating the hostage? Or something of the sort. I know one of these chairs is facing this person. And they're both in the general direction, so that's the only thing I can guess is that victim was here, and then they were both staring at the victim. And I don't know why they were doing that, but they were doing that, so they're obviously asking him something or another. Oh, what is this? This door is thoroughly broken thanks to the police who forced it open. Won't rest until... Oh no, there's another one. Well, there's this. Looks like a sword, a broken sword. Oh, isn't that what he was hit from behind with? I'm surprised they didn't just skewer and murder Edgeworth. Strange, why would it be broken like that? Oh, so they used it to hit Edgeworth. And it broke? Or, oh, it's that they were using it to hold the door shut, and when the police broke it down, that's what snapped in half was the sword. Okay. I was just thinking about it because, yeah, I guess that makes sense. They came over and knocked out Edgeworth. I wouldn't suspect that the sword broke on Edgeworth's head as they hit him with it. And after they knocked out Edgeworth, they came to this room with the hostage, and they locked the door using that sword in which the police broke the door down, and now we're here being a bunch of losers. That's true. Wow, this is some high logic here, Mr. Edgeworth. Alright then, let's think about it in this way. Maybe it broke when someone was trying to use it on something. The hypotheticals aren't going to get us anywhere. Perhaps we should think more on this later. No, Edgeworth, I have Edgeworth. Edgy, I have the answer. It wouldn't it... Edgy, come on. That doorknob handle thingy is looking pretty beat up. It sounds like something I'd say. I suppose that's what happens when 10 officers break their way in with brute force. Yeah, that's odd. The lock on this is completely fine. But how is that possible after what the officer told us? Yeah, if the lock had been in use when the door was busted down, then the lock itself should be completely wrecked. So the lock on the door leading to the outside is undamaged. How could that be? How, Zeno? Do you know? No, Edgeworth, I'm afraid I don't know. I was not saying it out loud. Logic song. It's what we sing when we put simple ideas together. It's a bit strange that the police had to force their way into an unlocked room. One look at the pristine door lock and anyone can see that it was not in use at the time. But the policeman outside said it took 10 men to get it open. A door that was locked tight despite it not being locked at all. It can only be because of this. Oh, you mean... Yes, it was used to jam the door. Here, take a look at the door handle. Do you see how the handle is completely destroyed? So that's how the sword broke. Yep. But why? Why wouldn't they just lock the door? That part doesn't make sense. They have barrels just like outside. Yes, and... Well, I know I already asked you when we were out there, but... If these are real, what would you put in them? Oh my god, this is just like... I was asking a friend this question the other day. Sorry if I'm breaking your game immersion. But I kept asking a friend the other day the question of how many clones of yourself would it take to kill a silverback gorilla? And I just asked it to him like 5 times. It was the best thing ever. There's an expectant gleam in her eyes that I'm about to dash. Okay, so what about this? There's nothing unusual about this area. Sorry, Edgeworth. The panel that hid the entrance to the underground is propped up and wide open. Be careful of where you step, Kay. I only fell into that other opening once, you know. Well, that's it, I guess. I could try to use logic and put this together. Like, hold on a second. This is the costume pieces and the folding chairs. I feel like combining those, but at the same time, I don't feel like that makes any sense at all. But I also feel like we've explored everything. I feel like there's something I missed over here. A poster of Gatewater Land is stuck on this wall. Intrigue, fun, prestige. Gatewater Land has it all, and it's waiting for you. It's not especially catchy, is it? What is that? No, what? Behind the folding chairs, Edgeworth. There's like a box or something. Whatever, never mind. I guess you don't care. I guess you don't care about justice or finding the truth. Edgeworth just doesn't care at all. Cheap styrofoam cups. Looks like only 3 cups were used. 3 people were sitting in folding chairs, and 3 people were using cups. Huh, what a coincidence. What would they use the cups for? Costume pieces. There were 3 folding chairs and 3 cups, which means there was 3 people here. The common denominator between the cups and the folding chairs is the number 3. Speaking of which, what, Mr. Edgeworth? What exactly? Oh, sorry, I skipped that line. Is there a way to go back? Is that a feature that still hasn't been implemented into these games? I don't think so. No, okay. Sorry, skip that. Wait, but I thought there were only 2 kidnappers. Indeed, something isn't adding up, literally. It is possible that there was a 3rd kidnapper that Lance didn't see? I thought that we might uncover the true identity of the kidnappers. But instead, we've only uncovered more questions that need to be answered. I don't know. Oh my shit. That actually scared me a little bit. That is not human. That thing should be shot. Edgeworth, quickly, rapier mode, activate. What is it? Well, well, Mr. Edgeworth, am I correct? What are you doing suddenly popping out of the secret entrance like that? This is an underground passage to be used by staff members, sir. We badgers also make use of it on our duties. Look, why don't you get out of there first, and then we'll talk, okay? I beg your pardon, miss. Proto-Badger, get! Alright, only one more to go. What are you getting all excited about? Did you forget? The photo rally, duh! See, look, now all I have to do is get a picture of the Bad Badger and I'm done. How old is Kay supposed to be? Yes, I vaguely recall a contest or something of that sort. What? What? It's gone. Where did it go? What happened? What's wrong? A Bad Badger costume is missing, sir. Oh, is that all? Well, it's missing because the kidnappers stole it. I heard about how they were stolen, but they said that only 3 of the costumes had been taken. What? Is he saying that more than 3 of them are gone? Yeah, when we looked, more than 3 of them were gone. Mr. Proto-Badger, please tell me a little more about these costumes you use. No, I don't want it. No, we're not going to that guy's portrait. Problem solved, okay? We're leaving. Okay, come on, let's go. Okay. Fine. Hello, Mr. Proto-Badger. What did you mean by a Bad Badger? I love how he's standing completely behind him. Why are you behind me, Mr. Edgeworth? Shut up. This is how I conduct my investigations. Why, just what I said, sir. We are 1 Bad Badger short. Counting the spares, we only have 2 of each costume at hand at all time. Okay. So that's why there's 2 shelves with 2 different boxes. But I counted way more than that missing, but I guess it's missing from the people who are wearing them already? Okay, so because one of them is walking around in the park, the other should be in that room. Actually, both of them should be in that room. Huh? What do you mean? Normally, we don't use the Bad Badger costumes. In fact, we only use them during a certain event at a set time each day. It's the stage show where the Bad Badger wreaks havoc around the park. I love the fact that there's a masked... Like, Disneyland would never let that slide. The fact that there's a masked guy running around with a gun. And people are just like, oh, it's a stage play, honey, don't worry. And he's like, this ain't a stage play, it's a robbery, son. And the other badgers must work together to apprehend him, sir. I'm speechless that such a show exists. Well, sir, I was just trying to explain to you the only time we use that costume. That doesn't make it... Then doesn't that make it near impossible to take a picture of the Bad Badger? Personally, I can't believe that it's this close to showtime and there's no costume. Oh dear, what am I to do, sir? I don't know, it's not my problem. Just get out of here, do whatever you want. All this basically means is that the kidnappers stole 4 costumes in total. And are you saying that there are 4 kidnappers? No, I don't think that's very likely. No? Recall the costumes for a minute. The stolen ones, you mean? What proves that a 4th kidnapper does not exist? I don't know, the only odd thing in the entire picture? This is 1, 2, that guy's wearing 1, this one's missing. I just want to kind of count this. There's the pink badger, which is our lovely little old bag. There's the guy in the room with us, who is the gaping hole stare of death Satan monster. There is the regular badger? Wait, there's the police one? Sorry, I'm losing track of which one's which. I thought this... No, I guess this is the bad one and this is the normal one? But I thought this is the police one. What? I'm so lost. Okay, I'm just gonna present this and pray. If you had 4 people and you wanted to steal a 4th costume, wouldn't you naturally go for the full set and steal a pink badger costume instead? Yeah, that makes sense. And yet the kidnappers decided to steal another Bad Badger. I believe the culprits needed 2 Bad Badger costumes, but the question is why? Well, I've had fun talking to you, little, Silent Hill effigy, but it's time for me to go home. Quickly, Kay. Yes, I know we have to go back. Okay, let's logic this together. Just so I can get out of here and never look at your face again. The second Bad Badger costume. I believe it may be closer at hand than we think. What do you mean? That costume in the trash. Wouldn't you say that it's wearing some very telltale pants? Hey, you're right. Let's get it out there and take a look. As I suspected, it's a Bad Badger costume. Well, minus the head. Won't rest until I've... yeah. Okay. Something's wrong with the hands. There's a hole in it. Look, the hand is hurt. And it looks more like something was ripped off of it. Oh, is the gun attached to the hand? And they ripped the gun off and put a real gun there? And then killed the guy with the gun? And they're able to walk all around the park just holding a normal gun that looked like the Bad Badger gun? I wonder why this Bad Badger's costume's right hand is torn up like that. Maybe it's a flesh wound from a fight with the Blue Badger. I always knew the Blue Badger was one ferocious beast. I somehow doubt that even real badgers are as bloodthirsty as that K. Oh, I already... Really? Are we not? Oh, I'm supposed to deduce something? Okay. Oh, well, yeah, it's the head that's missing. I almost completely forgot that we were missing a head. Yep, there you go. Eureka! Wait, what? But, what? Sorry, I'm a little confused right now. Are you going to fill me in or not? Wait, maybe that's not quite so clear. Even so, it's still a contradiction, right? Or might it not be? Okay, you know that thing I said when we were starting this video, or last video maybe, when I was like, I have this case on lock, I understand what's going on. Not really. Oh boy. This is going well. I think I know what it's trying to say. It's something about the hand, isn't it? The hand? Nope, this is just a map. Nothing about it. The Blue Badger Bible. Oh, I'm supposed to be showing the fact that, the gun is attached to the hand, aren't I? Okay. Hopefully that's right. Because I can't think of anything else. Eureka! Oh, okay, I actually got it right. Woo! I haven't actually hit a game over state in this game yet. I believe what we have here is an inconsistency. Between what? Look carefully, our costume is not holding something in its right hand that it should be. Oh, the gun! Precisely, the Bad Badger was designed to always hold a gun in his right hand. However... You there, did you remove the gun from this Bad Badger's right hand? No, I did not, sir. The gun is supposed to be secure... Wait, that's stance. Oh, shit. The way that Blue Badger's, or the Proto Badger's standing, it looks so familiar. Trying to think of what character I remember that. And the way he's talking, too. Ah, shit. I can't remember. Isn't he the, bellboy? I don't remember if it was from the first game, or the end of the second game. No, the end of the second game, the bellboy was not the real bellboy. Isn't that the bellboy from, like, the very first game? I thought it was. I think it is. Like, the way he's standing like he's serving something, and the way he's taught. I don't remember. It's been such a long time. I'm probably super duper wrong. As I thought, the rip itself confirms my hypotheses that the gun was forcibly removed. Mr. Proto-Badger, the gun is of course not a functioning weapon, correct? Absolutely not, sir. It's just a model gun. However, it can fire blanks. We need to use them for the stage show. Seems that our kidnappers also had a need for the model gun, my dear costume friend. I know what's so funny about that picture. It's like, I cannot fit my hands on the trigger. Like, Jesus. Good luck firing a gun in that costume. I think we're about done with this room. Okay, so what's next? Well, we found a few answers. But there are still a few things left that we have to ask a certain person about. Let's go, Kay! To the Edgemobile! What's the Edgemobile? My two-person bicycle. Mr. Edgeworth, sir! We brought the Edgemobile! You gotta hurry, sir, come on. What is it, detective? We found a blue badger costume down in front of the main gate, sir. What? Isn't that what one of the kidnappers was wearing? Bingo, that's why you gotta come down to the main gate with me right now. If we hurry, we still might be able to get there before the Wolf Boy does, sir. I love how everyone's calling him Wolf Boy, even though he has, like, dragons all over him. Alright, let's make haste to the main gate. Oh, the police officer just salutes them like, what brave heroes they are! That was really short. Actually, I don't know how long that was. I haven't been keeping track. Oh, it was a good, like, 40 minutes, actually. March 13th, 3:45 p.m. Gatewater Land Main Gate. Where's the costume, Detective Gumshoe? Just on the other side of the fountain, sir. Ugh. Why does it have to look that way? Like, the up-close version is way less terrifying than the sprite itself. Oh, a necklace is in there. Was it out here in the open all along? No, it was discovered in the tall grass back there. We moved it out here in order to examine it more thoroughly. Let's get down to it. Won't rest until I've suspected every inspection. Yes. What do we have here? Oh, it's another pendant. That's 2 treasures in one day. How lucky is that? And hey, this pretty baby's made of platinum silver, too. Another pendant on top of the one we found on Mr. Deacon? Is it possible that these two... Hold it right there. Oh, we just got here. You've got to be kidding. Hands off, Mr. Prosecutor. You sure know how to cross the line, don't you? A pendant, huh? This very decisive piece of evidence. How can you tell? Look here and read off what you see. Lauren? Lauren? Hey, it's a name that's engraved on this. Miss Pop's pendant data. Aha, we have you now, Miss Kidnapper. No, you don't understand. Lolly? Wait, what's her name? What's her full name? Why is he just calling her Lolly? Hold on a second. What? Lauren? Lolly? I can't believe you're one of my kidnappers. Lance. You're kidding! Miss Pops was one of the kidnappers? Yes. It was me. I held Lance hostage. I don't even know what accent I'm trying to go for anymore. So Miss Pops is one of the kidnappers. But even knowing that, I can't call this case solved or over. Hey guys, case closed. We're all done here, isn't that right, Edgy? Come on, let's go to Subway, get a Subway sandwich. Get the car ready, and I mean the special one for this young lady.
Hold it.
Huh, again, Mr. Prosecutor? What is it this time? Are you proposing that Miss Pops is also the culprit in this murder case? What happened? I thought Officer Meekins was your suspect. We found it. Found what? That officer's gun. He literally dropped it in the middle of a thick patch of grass. Whoops, I just dropped my gun, sir. But this costume makes it too difficult to pick it up. Well, I have to go inspire children's dreams now by leaving this gun in the middle of a children's park. Oh well. What is with this guy? Your country's police are just a sham. Just look at how careless they are. Who are you calling a sham? An officer's gun didn't show signs of having been fired, so it can't be the murder weapon. So Officer Meekins has been cleared of all charges, I see. And that's when a brand new suspect comes walking onto the scene. The murder only happened because of the kidnappers fighting amongst themselves. As I recall, it was you who said that, right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Miss Pops, did you really kill Mr. Deacon? Yes, I killed him. I can't believe it.
Thanks for the confession. Agent Lang, it's much too early to declare this case closed. So you're saying no to the subway thing. Look at you, you're so sure of yourself. We got the culprit's own confession and some very incriminating evidence. What more could you ask for? Miss Lauren Pops.
Yes?
I want to hear it from you. Tell me your side of all that has happened today, from the kidnapping to the murder.
But why? I'm a kidnapper. I'm a killer.
Isn't that enough? Is she? Oh my god, she's trying to cut her hair. It's fine, but you're the one behind everything. But only if that's the truth. Now then, will you tell us the truth? Or is there some reason why you can't?
Stress licking. Oh, and she has a bandage on her elbow. I wonder if that's part of anything.
I think I've had a change of heart. I think I'd enjoy seeing you sulk away as the losing mutt. Alright, you heard me. Let's hear about all the evil deeds you committed today.
I really like his rival. He's freaking awesome. Not really rivals, since I guess that's technically Phoenix, but his opponent, I guess I'll say here. The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. We knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Amano would pay anything to get his son back after all. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me.
There, are you satisfied? She just confessed to her crimes for a second time. At least you have the guts to admit what you've done. I can at least respect that much. Miss Pops, is what you said really the truth?
Yes, it is.
If that's the truth, it certainly isn't the whole truth. Because there's something that seems a bit too improbable in her confession. Which part of it? I actually didn't catch anything. Excuse me, I'm yawning, not because I'm bored, but because my body has a lapse in energy in which I do not sleep enough because I do YouTube too much. Just kidding, I don't do YouTube enough as much as I'd like to anyway, because, you know, people only have so many hours in the day. The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler. Would you mind telling us a little bit about the plan itself?
Well, first we captured Lance. Ooh, how did you do that? Mr. Deacon did that on his own, so I don't quite know how. Bon, here I thought you knew how to steal people away.
I shudder to think what you would do with such knowledge.
Sorry, but I don't really know, but somehow Mr. Deacon was able to contain him. All we had to do after that was wait for the ransom to be paid, but Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me.
Why do you think he did?
I have no idea, but maybe he had planned on doing so from the very beginning.
Is this really wrapping up this quickly? I don't know. I know this case has been going on for a while, and when you're at the end of the case, you don't really recognize how long it's been. but it feels like this case literally just started, I don't know, like so minutes ago. I know that can't be true, though.
Miss Pops.
Wait, Mr. Deacon planned to kill Miss Pops from the very beginning? Was that ever really likely to happen? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Yes, raise an objection out of the court. Objection!
What are you saying?
I'm sorry, but I don't think what you just claimed is all that likely.
Oh, really?
Huh. I don't think Mr. Deacon would have ever been capable of killing you.
But why? We're total strangers. It's not uncommon for people to kill each other over money.
Miss Pops, you really are clueless, aren't you?
What do you mean?
You never knew what your role in the kidnapping was, nor do you know who you really are. But I do, and I can show you with this piece of evidence who she really is. Oh, it's because of the Colin Deveray, and then Lauren D, which is Deveray. Oh, it's her. She's related to him. It's his daughter, granddaughter, something. I think. I might have the relations wrong, but they're related in some way.
Why are you showing this to me?
So what about the pendant? This horse pendant, along with this piece of evidence, shows who you really are. These two pendants resemble each other, wouldn't you agree?
Hey, you're right. They're the same color, and they're even made of the same material. Sterling silver.
I believe that these two pendants are actually one. Her hand is touching her eyeball. That's, ugh. Shall we give it a try?
Wow, it's totally a Pegasus. But why? Why does the pendant match up with Mr. Deacon's?
You're a smart lady. I'm sure you can imagine why that might be.
What? No, that can't be.
So the two make a set, huh? It's just another trinket. It's not as though this changes anything. You know, the thing about Lang as an opponent for Edgeworth is that Lang only uses the most baseline possible logic. And while I like his design and his entire attitude, I'm not sure if he serves to be much of a true opponent for Edgeworth. Like, I can't see them on an even level. You lack imagination. Agent Lang, very well, I'll show you with this evidence. This is the piece of evidence that gives meaning to the Pegasus pendant. It is? I'm trying to think of what that might be. Corin Deveray dossier. Oh, okay, yeah, this. Take that! Oliver Deacon was just an alias for this man. His real name was Colin Deveray, the name that is etched on the horse pendant. What? An alias? I suppose he had to hide the fact that he was a felon somehow in order to live. And it makes sense given what is written in Mr. Deveray's dossier. What I really wanted to point out was this. This specific section is what reveals the true meaning behind those pendants. Whoops, I didn't mean... I'd like you to take a look around this general area. And Edgeworth, that's the whole damn page. Yeah, well, I'm sure it's in here somewhere, just look hard enough. Langzy says the timid never reach the land of truth. You'll have to be more specific than that if you want to convince me. Do I have to spell it out for you? Alright then, I'll direct you to the exact section. This specific section is what reveals the true meaning behind those pendants. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah blah. Gun. Blah blah blah. Guard. Blah blah blah. Oh, I couldn't read this before. We thought he might head for where his wife and sole daughter are, but despite our surveillance, he has yet to show up. I guess I'll present this. Mr. Deveray had one daughter, and her name is Lauren Pops.
That's a lie. That person was not my father.
He couldn't come out and tell you because
tell you he was his father because he was in hiding. However, I believe he was trying to secretly watch over you. Aww. Poor girl. Do you still believe that a man like that could kill the daughter he was separated from? Or even that such a man would allow his daughter to get involved in a kidnapping plot?
Not so fast!
He has a really high-pitched voice. Like, no one sounds like they should. Although I'll admit, even though I don't like Von Karma's actual voice, or, like, I don't think it fits her, I think it's still an adorable voice for her, regardless. What's so funny, Agent Lang? You're good at making things up in your head and deciding it's the truth, aren't you? What are you trying to say? Your thinking is much too innocent. After all, I've thought of another possibility. Is that so? Well, let's hear it. I'll grant you that the two of them are father and daughter. But isn't it possible that they both knew that fact? It was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the House of Amano. And the two of them made good use of their meetings to plan this little kidnapping. Wouldn't you say my scenario is perfectly probable as well? Well, kind of. You don't have any proof that either... Wait, you don't have any proof that either one didn't know of their true relationship, right? You mean they knowingly committed the kidnapping as father and daughter? That's right. As one really rotten family. Is that really what happened? Better take a long, hard look at this evidence. And let's see. Evidence. Let's just look at some of the stuff we have here. Badger's head. Costume separate head and body. I'm just trying to see something here. The kidnapper stole 3 bat costumes. A blue, a proto, and a bad badger. Has nothing to do with that. What's something that proves that they took a bunch of time to do what they wanted to do? It's not the head, because that just is a lone piece of evidence that has really nothing to do with much at the moment. Is it the stolen costumes? The kidnapper stole 3 costumes. I mean, if they had planned it out, they probably wouldn't have stolen the bad badger one because someone would have noticed, right? I really hope this is right, because if so, I'm gonna feel super duper smart. I feel really smart right now, guys, even though I know I'm not. This kidnapping wasn't planned by just 2 people alone. And what proof do you have of that? Quite simply, there were 3 kidnappers. 3? I love that stance he assumes, like a basic fighting stance. 4 costumes were stolen from the Wild West area's back room. We found one of them in the kidnapper's hideout. But as for the other 3, we can assume that they were being worn by 3 different people. We also found a set of 3 cups and 3 folding chairs that were used in the hideout. It all clearly points to a 3-man group. That's the problem? Oh, okay, Edgeworth. I guess we have different thought processes. And I believe this 3rd person's the real mastermind behind the kidnapping. Who is this mastermind? I present to you the brains behind the kidnapping. It's her, Sheena! I'd assume she was a boy if it wasn't for the rest of her sprite. Herc. I love how some of these sprites zoomed out are the most hilarious thing. Wow, my eyes are really small compared to my eyebrows, aren't they? Emma's eyes aren't even, like... They're not outlined, they're just gaping holes in her face. It was Old Bag. Let's put Old Bag in jail once and for all. No. It was... Lance Amano.
Take that!
Lance Amano? Yes, this abduction was in fact schemed up by Lance himself. Recall what he said. Oh yes, I love this. I love this song. Is this a remix of that song too? Oh my goodness, it is. I'm gonna have to listen to this in full later. Recall what he said when he appeared before us. Did you see the faces of your kidnappers? No, I didn't see their faces, but
2, one was a woman. However, there were 3 kidnappers, which is in direct contradiction to what he said. But I only saw 2 people. This guy was being held hostage. It's possible he couldn't see all 3 of them. Ah, yes, about when you were being held. I have my doubts about what happened then. Lance, would you mind telling us what happened while you were being held captive? I really don't remember much anymore, honest. But if I don't tell you at least something, you won't believe me at all, will you? That's a much better voice for him. I was kidnapped yesterday morning. They had me shut in that room blindfolded the entire time. But the kidnappers suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside. My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that they left me alone. I made my escape and ran away from that room as fast as I could. I feel like the biggest contradiction in that is explaining what he thought was rain. Because I don't feel like it was actually raining. Are you okay? Sorry, I really don't want to recall that horrible ordeal, but now you have to believe me, right? No, not quite yet. I don't believe anyone. Oh, how can you not? Why do you look at me with those icy daggers in your eyes? Because he's a prosecutor and they're all assholes. I'll have you know that I worked very, very hard at becoming a nicer person. Agent Lang, a prosecutor's eyes are for discerning the truth. And should they be interpreted to be cruel at times, then so be it. Ugh. There's a sticking point in Lance's testimony. Let's see what he offers up when I push a little. Yeah, look away, boy. I was kidnapped yesterday morning. I'm just gonna look for something obvious here, because it's been working so far instead of pressing everything. The door leading outside was locked tight. My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck. Oh, look at him adjusting his bow. I made my escape and ran away from the room as fast as I could. Boy, that sure does. Boy, does that bring back memories of our situation, how we made our escape. It was like it was this morning. Indeed. And although the door in the floor of our room led to an underground room, the door in the floor of this room next door had a secret passageway. A secret passageway under a theme park. Ooh, that just sounds like so much fun. I've been under theme parks before. Trust me, it is not fun. It is hell down there. Props to maintenance managers at Disneyland, or wherever. I wonder, is there something off about the way Lance made his escape? Well, thanks for pointing that out to me. What could be the... I made my escape. Is this the answer? No, that's not right. We're gonna have to press him on, like, everything. I have no reason to doubt that. You know what, we're gonna go by doubt.
Hold it!
By that room, you mean the room in the kidnapper's hideout, correct? Yes, but I was blindfolded the whole time, so I didn't know that until I made my escape. And you were in the same room as your kidnappers. They spoke in hushed tones, but I could catch bits of their conversation. It was definitely 2 people, and one of them was definitely a woman. I was so scared. I could tell they were nearby, so I didn't dare make a move. My hands are cuffed as a stroke of luck. Oops, I didn't mean to skip back to this, sorry. Let's go back to the hands were cuffed statement. Hold it! And those cuffs on your wrists, I suppose you are still cuffed in that case. I am well aware of how I am chained to reality. I couldn't find the key, so I'm afraid that I'm stuck like this. Even though I escaped from that jail cell, I will forever be a prisoner. Okay.
Hold it!
How did you manage to escape? I waited to just get out of there. Wait, I wanted to just get out of there, but the door leading outside was locked.
which is why I had to use the underground passageway to make my escape. I remember our escape to be equally... Oh, this is where he messed up. The door isn't locked conventionally. He could have actually just pulled the sword out and fixed the problem. You done screwed up, boy. This is an invaluable piece of testimony. I mustn't let it go unexamined. Yeah, no, you're a liar. I was peeking out like, does he believe me?
Objection!
You say that the door leading out was locked, but was it really? Huh? We're talking about that room behind the saloon front, right? Look, I heard that it took quite a few men to get that thing open, right, Sheena? Yes, that's correct. And take a look at this. I haven't heard Sheena say much at all, so I'm very interested in to hear her talk and speak and see what her character's like. Because I have a feeling at some point she's going to take off the glasses and just be even more proficient than he is. What is that, a sword? It's not really especially reliable. Reliable? What am I even saying? I'm sorry, I'm talking with headphones on, and that's why this episode is specifically really bad. I know I have speech issues in other episodes, but specifically this time it's because I can't hear myself over the game, because my setup doesn't allow me to hear my own voice. And for those of you who have recorded with headphones on while other things are playing, it can become difficult to hear your own syllables correctly. It's not an especially reliable one if it's broken like that. Ugh. Allow me to start from the end. My conclusion is that the door was never locked. Yes. It was simply held shut by this sword, which was used to jam the handle. Lance, even though your hands were cupped together, you could still use them. If that's the case, then why did you not just simply remove the sword and escape? Why didn't I was disoriented. Yes, that's it, I didn't notice it. As if I should accept such a bold-faced lie. You locked yourself in that room because you had to make yourself look like a victim. But you did not, in fact, possess the key to the door. That is why you used the prop sword to improvise and create a prison of your very own. You've been making this guy out to be one of the kidnappers for some time now. I wonder if you've forgotten something very important along the way. What would that be? A motive, what else? Do you honestly think that an upright, pure boy like him would hatch up a completely pointless scheme such as kidnapping himself? Oh, Edgeworth's got it on lock. This proves that Lance did indeed have a motive to commit this crime. Love letter? So what did this love letter say? My dear Lance Amano, may I come see you again, your beloved Viola. It's from a loan company. I don't know what's going on here, but I feel like this is it. To put it simply, Lance has a very urgent need for money. Oh, it's because he has to pay back a loan, is that it? This is hardly your typical love letter. It is in fact a collections bill. It appears our upstanding boy has accumulated quite a debt. Isn't that right, Lance? Looks like it's hard being the son of a rich man, too. It must be rough when you have to resort to stealing from your own old man, huh? Oh, right, I give up. I abducted myself. Lance! It's over, Loli. In this life, we really are bound to our fates after all. All I wanted was to go with you to a new town somewhere where no one would know us. I wanted us to be well off with that 1 million, but now that dream's over. Oh, Lance. You're giving yourself up. Yes, I had planned to run away from this world with my Loli. Oliver even helped us with the plan, but then he had to go and stab us in the back. He turned on you. Maybe he didn't want to split the ransom money, that's my guess. It happened almost right after you made the drop-off. When we were alone, he attacked me all of a sudden. After a brief struggle, I was able to contain him and keep him under control. We left him inside that room as Loli and I made our escape. We wore different costumes and split up. Loli left first in the Blue Badger costume. That would mean the person Officer Meekins saw was Miss Pops. But right then, the old man just had to wake up. I was careless and he tackled me pretty hard from behind. Then Oliver put on a Bad Badger costume. He took the suitcase with $1 million and ran. I contacted Loli right away and warned her that he had a gun. They had no idea that they were related, so I thought that it could only end badly. I still don't believe it. That person was not my father. Because if he was, I killed my own father. Oh. Oh. Loli, then it really was you. Aw, Ace Attorney isn't that cruel. I know Ace Attorney isn't that cruel for a fact, so there must be some misconception here with her. That man was not my father, I mean, because at the stadium, there was a bad badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it. But that badger pointed his gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead. That's why I used the gun I got from Lance. There was a gunshot, the other person crumpled to the ground, and I ran, scared for my life. I think the big picture is finally coming into focus, don't you? Loli, forgive me, I didn't think it would turn out to be something so frightening. If only I could have protected you. So Miss Pops, she shot her own dad without even really knowing who she was? If what she says is true... Are you saying she's lying? But why would she lie about something like that? What purpose would it serve? You'd be surprised how often people lie without even realizing it themselves, Kay. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? What I mean is listen very carefully to her confession once more and you'll see. What is there left? I mean, something is wrong. Something is really wrong. Was there something I could have... Oh, wait. The pendant was coming out of the costume sleeve. When he was pointing his hand at her, he was trying to get her to take the necklace so she would know. Or something of that sort. Because when we found the costume was lying in the grass, and out of the sleeve there was a pendant for her. Oh, alright. I get it. If I have this right, that's pretty damn good. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I don't think you pulled out the right piece of evidence. Huh. Wonderful subordinate there. So willing to point out that his boss's mistakes. Ah! Detective Gumshoe, you'll refrain from excessive talking. I'll try, sir. When Gumshoe's just stating the obvious. Gets punished anyways. I still feel like it's this statement, though. Okay, I guess that's the wrong statement.
Hold it.
Please calm down and let's slowly talk through this. But all you have to do is simply tell us what happened at the stadium. Leave it to us to search for the truth. Can you do that for me? Alright. So at the stadium... There was a bad badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it.
Hold it.
That was the ransom money, wasn't it? Yes, that's how I was able to identify Mr. Deacon almost immediately. It was all thanks to what Lance told me. And what did he tell you? Well, he called me on my cell phone and told me that Mr. Deacon had betrayed us and run off with the ransom money. And about how he had a gun.
Hold it.
Were you able to clearly see the gun? Yes, I got a very good look at it while it was pointed at me. Oh, Father, why would you try to shoot me? Do you really think a father would shoot his own daughter, Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, that one. That one resonates deep. I don't know. I don't want to believe it myself. But it's true, my father's left arm was raised... Okay, that's the contradiction, the fact that he's right-handed. Mrs. Pops, or Miss Pops. Please calm down and take a deep breath. And then would you allow me to please hear that last statement one more time? Yes, of course. Okay, yeah, this is it. I had the right piece of evidence. I'm happy with that, but... There we go. I just had it for the completely wrong reasons. I have there a dossier on your father. And according to this, your father was right-handed. Ah, then. The person pointing a gun at you from atop the stage was not Mr. Deacon. Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. I think you need to take a refresher course. The Blue Badger has a model gun attached to his right hand, which is why the only hand he could have held the real gun with was his left. It isn't possible that it went down like that. Isn't it possible that it went down like that? Agent Lang, were you paying attention to what Miss Pops was saying? Then again, I suppose I can't expect someone who has never set foot in a court to catch it. Oh. Shade has been dropped by Lord Edgeworth. Enough with the smugness. Out with it already. Miss Pops told us earlier. There was a bad badger pulling the suitcase with the 1 million in it. According to you, the bad badger had the gun in his left hand, which would mean that he was pulling the suitcase with his right hand. Is that correct, Miss Pops? Yes, exactly. I'm sure it was the bad badger. It had to be those... It had those huge sunglasses on its face. If that's the case, even I can see there's a huge contradiction. Yes, Miss Pops claims to have seen the bad badger. And yet the bad badger had both of his hands full. These two pieces of evidence contradict each other. Oh. Both hands were occupied because he had the necklace in one hand and then he had the suitcase in the other. Is it both are correct though? And it wasn't... Oh, I have it solved. So he had the necklace in one hand and the suitcase in the other. And then he switched the heads out as why that, why the disembodied suit is there with a hole cut in it. And he was wearing the bad badger head. That's why... Okay, I get it. Wasn't part of the right costume, though. They are both correct. Impossible. That just leaves us with an irresolvable contradiction. Miss Pop's entire statement rests on the fact that she saw his sunglasses and beard. But what if that bad badger wasn't wearing pants on his lower half? This proves that there was a way for the bad badger to freely use both of his hands. Wait, what? Wait, what? What? Hold on. What am I searching for? I don't understand. This proves that there was a way for the bad badger to freely use both of his hands. Oh, I guess it wants me to present the model gun, but I don't... Okay, that's because we didn't take the costume itself as a piece of evidence. We took it as a logic thing. Get your head on straight, Mr. Prosecutor. That doesn't show me diddly squat. I knew it. What I saw was just a mirage. Wait, I can explain. Miss Pops said the bad badger had a gun in his left hand. No idea. It's either the head or the victim's costume. The costumes have two parts to them, the head and the body. Oh, I get it now. The head Miss Pops saw was probably really the head of the blue badger. However, it is not possible that the body was... However, is it not possible that the body was that of an entirely different badger? A different badger? Yes, or to put it more bluntly, I believe it was the lower half of this badger. The body of the bad badger Miss Pops saw really belonged to this badger. Blah, 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 blah. Wait, the body? Oh god, I hate this thing. I hate it. The body of the... The proto-badger? Did he just take the pants off? I don't know. Because it couldn't be the other two, because they have some parts on them that wouldn't make sense. What the heck is it? It's the proto-badger. Almost assistant chimed in for that. Yes, it's a simple matter and process of elimination. Edgeworth, you have completely lost me and I've gone completely unguessing, so please explain. Miss Pops was wearing the blue badger's costume, so we can eliminate that one. And the pink badger is one of the wrong color, which would have been incredibly obvious. All that is left is the Proto-Badger costume. Miss Pops, who was the one who wore the Proto-Badger costume? That would be Lance. Are you saying what I think you are? That Lance Amano donned the Bad Badger's head and pretended to be Mr. Deacon? On top of which he plotted to shoot Miss Pops while wearing that hideous thing? The stage that was set up in the stadium was nothing more than that, a setup. And its purpose was to lead Miss Pops into believing she had committed murder. Standing there in front of Miss Pops and pretending to be the victim. It was all done so that she would pull the trigger. Haha, I have no idea what you're talking about. Why exactly would I have had to do all that, huh? There's but one reason. Lance Amano, you are the real culprit behind the murder of Mr. Oliver Deacon. What? No! That's slander. Take it back. You take it back right now. Just out of curiosity, Lance, which is your dominant hand? I'm left-handed, but what does that have to do with anything? It depends. According to Miss Pops, her attacker held a gun in his left hand. Huh. Who is what-handed doesn't prove a thing. Besides, now you're just being absurd. It's not like the Proto-Badger is bulletproof. One misfire and he would have found himself dead, right? Of course, logically, if he had been shot, he probably wouldn't be here with us. But I believe he had thought of that as well and prepared accordingly. And this should be all the evidence you need. This is how Lance made sure he wouldn't be hit by a bullet. How? The Blue Badger mobile? I actually am completely lost on this one. I guess it would just be the car, but it's ripped from the Bad Badger costume. Capable of firing blanks. Oh, so that's how he tricked her. Was that the answer? I don't think so. But it's the only thing I see in here that has anything to do with self-defense whatsoever. Okay, it's the answer. I love how I play these games, guessing until the end. I'm sure there's playthroughs where people discern every single fact perfectly, and then there's me. We found one half of a Bad Badger costume in the hideout, a broken one. It was not the same one that the victim was wearing, plus it was missing something. And that something is the model gun that the Bad Badger carries, which can fire blanks. But what? Miss Pops, where's the gun? Oh god, what's with his hands? Is that an emulator glitch or something? Where's the gun you use now? I threw it away into the sea. That makes it a bit tough to verify what it was. Although I believe that we can safely assume that it was the model gun in question. I've heard enough. All you've been spouting so far is pure conjecture. I admit that as long as the model gun is lost to us, I can't prove that I'm right. However, I can say that the probability that I'm right is very high. Okay, let's pretend that you're right. And that the murder at the stadium was a fabrication. In that case, where do you think the murder really took place, Mr. Prosecutor? I don't know yet. I knew you were full of it. However, I do believe that the murder took place during an earlier time frame. Please wait a second. It's simply not possible. How? Because I saw Mr. Deacon after he was restrained by Lance. She saw the victim in the state of being restrained? That doesn't sound right, but... Okay, I want to hear what she has to say. I have a feeling this is about to get really, really messy. But I'm going to end the episode here, even if we're right at the end, because it's going on pretty long. So thank you guys for watching. If you're watching the series so far, it's just like, thank you so much. I'm happy with the support I get on anything, really. And it means a lot that people watch anything. And especially, to refer to my question earlier, why do you watch this series? I'm just kind of curious. Not like I'm doubting you or doubting my own confidence. But I'm just curious. Why do you watch it? Is it a good time? I know 100% of the people that are watching the series have already played this game before. So it's nothing really new to them. I don't know. It's just interesting to hear your opinions. Anyways, thank you for watching, however. If you like the video, leave a like. If not, you can dislike it if you really hate it that much. And if you want to become a member of the Dust Brigade, click subscribe. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Riding out.